My name's Steve and welcome to the Seaside Allotment channel. And I almost always do single takes of these videos, but I was laughing at the intro of this one because I think it's about the fourth intro that I've filmed, which is just incredible really. Anyway, what I'm often asked is it possible to save money by growing your own food? And everybody knows that growing your own food is immensely rewarding from all sorts of different perspectives. It's emotionally rewarding, it's a great challenge, it gives you fantastic healthy food, it keeps you fit, so many, it's a great way to meet people, a lovely sense of community and all that sort of thing. So all those are kind of no-brainer reasons to grow your own food, especially in an allotment environment. But is it actually possible to break even? Well, we've tracked our costs and finances for the last 4 years that we've been gardening. So we've got a pretty good perspective on that question. So I thought I'd quickly just take you through that. So in the first year, we harvested about £3,000 worth of food. In the second year, about £5,000 worth. And we added an extra 2 plots to our sort of family's little allotment empire. In the third year we harvested 7,500, and then in the fourth year, which is the year just gone, we harvested another 9,500. So I think that's 25,000 or thereabouts of total harvest value. Now the costs associated with that were about £2,500 of capital investment. So that's investment in the polytunnel that I'm sitting in, the raised beds, the coal frames, the low tunnels, all the trees that we've planted. I think we planted like 20 trees, something like that. All the bushes, fruit bushes and things that we've invested in. All the module trays, all the water capture, all the water storage. The list goes on and on. A lot of capital investment. So £25,000 harvest, £2,500 worth of capital investment. It's a pretty good deal. The recurring costs, the way I like to think about that is we almost always pay those off from the harvests from January and February. So by the end of February, we've always covered all of the costs, recurring costs for the rest of the year. So I mean by that, all the seeds, all the module trays, all the seed compost, all the manures, all the fertilizer, and all the nets, all the fleece, everything like that, everything that's recurring basically, rather than capital investment. So I think that's pretty good evidence that you really can make a real saving off your cost of living from growing your own food. And we've certainly been pleased with that. It's allowed us to gift a lot of food to our extended family, and so they've been massively appreciative of that as well. And what more can I say really? It's just been amazing. And I think we're going to do better next year. Each year we try to do more, harvest more with less effort. So I think last year we did £9,500. I think this year we're going to do £10,500. And of course the finances look better and better the further you go. So, that will be 35,500's worth of harvest, but with the same £2,500 worth of capital cost. And again, just covering our costs by February, our recurring cost by February. Just put all that into context, we have about 250 square metres of growing area on the allotments, and we have about maybe another 20 square metres of growing area at home. So about 270 square metres of growing area to deliver that sort of £10,500 pounds worth of harvest. As I said, we don't track labour because we consider the labour is rewarded by their benefits in fitness and health and community and fun and all of that sort of thing. but we do track every other cost. In fact, we've actually stopped tracking the cost now because it's getting a bit boring, because it's basically the same every year. So it's a lot of effort just to track something that turns out to be the same every year. So having done it for 4 years, we don't really need to do it anymore. And we've got 3 plots and a back garden in our sort of family of allotments. So I've got one, my wife's got one, my middle daughter's got one. And I do all the planning, all the sowing of the seeds, and yeah, that's what and I make the videos, and then we each sort of look after the planting on each of our individual plots, and Jennie and John on their allotment, they help out a lot with all the heavy lifting, all the bulk deliveries of manures and mulches and wood chips and all that sort of thing, because, you know, John's stronger than me. And yeah, and we do like a communal harvest that we share out between the family. So yeah, it's a really nice sort of family little endeavour that we've got going here. And we do a lot of the summer harvesting in the back garden. We're doing more and more of that. We're moving more and more summer activity to the back garden, focusing the allotments on different things. So my allotment is very much focused on all the things that need to be grown under cover. So that's the tomatoes and the peppers and the winter salads and, you know, all the early spring crops and things like that. Jennie's plot is very much focused on all the stuff that we harvest for storage or that we eat over winter. So that's all the brassicas, the winter brassicas, and the garlic and the broad beans and the beetroot and those sorts of things. Lots of fruit trees as well on Jennie's plot. And Debbie's plot is a perennial plot. So that's where there's lots of all the berries and currants and apples and pears and plums and the herbs and things like that, and a few other bits and pieces. So with that, I think I'll wrap up, and I hope you found this interesting, and I'd love your own experience as to, you know, what do your allotment finances look like? Do you got any challenges? Need any advice, etc., etc. See you soon.